Hey and welcome to BoatProjectY. Thank you for joining us as we unveil the secrets behind transforming this extraordinary vessel and discover the hard work, the exceptional craftsmanship and the unyielding spirit of adventure that accompanies every build. Welcome aboard episode 51. As you can hear by the sound of my voice, I'm slightly ill, or better yet, recovering from illness. That illness will play a major role in the next episode, you'll see, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's focus on today's news. Remember last time when I was uncovering the gaping hole in the hull? Well, today I'm showing you how to patch it up like a seasoned shipwright. Let's get into it. On step 1, I'm marking a generous 10 cm around the rust damage. This is the section I'll replace. The corners are rounded to avoid stress cracks both during welding and in the decades of seafaring ahead. I grind the straight edges of the replacement piece, and for the curves I use a new 125mm grinding disc. The radius is perfect and I always have one handy. Once outside, I connect the ground lines with my spare grinding disc, extrapolating the shape perfectly to the hull's exterior. Now comes the patient testing task of smoothing those round edges. I cover the hole with paper tape, trace the shape and transfer it to a fresh piece of steel. Cutting it out and tracing it with a marker is optional, but only necessary if you feel like the tape might peel off in the process. A powerful magnet holds the piece in place, and then, yep, the fun can begin. On the port side, I measure the hull thickness again. Any spot under 3.5mm gets the chop, no mercy. Fitting the new piece is a time-consuming puzzle, especially those tricky rounded corners. Well, luckily, my dad had another brilliant idea. Why don't we mount 2 grinding discs onto the angle grinder to double the workspace? Man, it works like a charm, Dad. Thanks a lot. I've made quite a few holes in the bow now. Here's hoping the rest of the ship is less demanding. A little word of warning, plenty of daylight inside is nice, but any salt-stained sailor knows that if the light is coming from below the waterline, that means trouble. The task I've been itching to tackle is stripping the hull above the waterline, checking for damage and applying a sleek, modern 2-component coating. But which tool to use? It's a massive job. Go! But you gotta start somewhere, right? My dad swears by the trusty Nito needle gun. Yet he's tempted to try the Terco disc once more. While my dad's wheeling the disc, I'm sticking with my beloved needle gun for the nooks and crannies and the round handrail posts. The needle gun leaves the underlaying zinc layer untouched, and the disc, well, as you can see, not so much. So we gotta work fast and paint the same day to keep rust at bay. No repeating past mistakes, remember? Under the waterline? After smoothing everything out with a sanding tool, the first section is done. It's going to look stunning once the old paint is all off and a fresh layer of 2-component primer is on, but what a monumental task that's gonna be. Oh, praise the maritime gods, my prayers have been answered. The cavalry has arrived. Two loyal viewers, Max and Luc, sailed in to lend a hand on a beautiful day. Max tackled the paint removal like a pro, while Luc shaped, steel and plugged the holes I've made on the port side. Both jobs require a lot of patience and time, so it's an absolute godsend to have extra hands on deck. Meanwhile, I dove back into the diesel tanks for one last deep clean, or at least I tried to. The power of teamwork, what a mighty feeling. Camaraderie, friends, unity. We made 3 times the progress I'd planned. From the bottom of the bilge, my friends, thank you very much. You did not just make my day, you made my entire week. Time to celebrate. The cooler came out, cold brews were cracked open, and we toasted on a job well done. Here's to you, mates. Fair winds and following seas. Ahoy, hope to see you soon again.